I've trained clients to IFBB and natural pro cards, from first show to pro. And in today's video, I want to share the secrets of how we can target the inner chest in our chest training. In a previous video, I shared how you can target the inner portion of the chest doing cable crossovers by staying further back in between the actual cables. So here at home, we have a Sornex Apex rack. It has the normal 4-foot rack in the middle and then cable stations on the outside. Instead of, when I do a cable crossover, instead of stepping out in front of the machine and doing my cable crossovers out here, this actually would target the outer portion of the chest more than the inner chest. So instead, I can actually stay back in between the cables, and that'll give me more of an inner chest emphasis. It feels lighter out here when my arms are wide, when the outer chest would be most loaded. However, that's actually what I want. I want it to be lighter here, and then as I come inward, it feels heavier and heavier and heavier. What you'd look for is, when is your arm perpendicular to the cable? So if I'm back in between the cable stations, right about here, my arm is perpendicular to the cable. This would be when my muscle feels the most loaded. If I were to step out, now all of a sudden it's perpendicular way out here. So this is going to be more of an outer chest emphasis. Whereas if I stay back, this is the position, and you can see that's going to be more of an inner chest emphasis. So a fun thing you can do if you want is to start out wide and then step back as you reach fatigue. So I can step forward and get the outer chest, get some chest width, and then as that fatigues, I would step back, do a few more reps, and then if I can, I'd step even further back and do a few more reps. And that'll allow you to target the different portions of the chest. Now, typically, I don't do the step forward flies whenever I do them for myself or with clients, because when we do dumbbell presses and barbell presses, and even non-converging presses like a Smith machine press, we're going to be emphasizing the outer portion of the chest anyhow. So if I can, in a converging press or in a setup like this, I would always try to target the inner portion of the chest when I have that available. So usually I'll actually warm up with this movement. This is usually my first chest movement in my workouts, is a chest isolation specific to the inner portion of the chest. And then I would go ahead and do the rest of my chest workout, knowing that I've already pre-exhausted the inner portion, and I'll get a good stimulus in the inner portion throughout the rest of the workout. Now, in the previous video, when I was showing this technique, someone asked, how do you do that in a setup that doesn't have wide cable crossovers? So their gym at home only has the 4-foot rack, and they have their cable stations on this portion of the rack. So they don't have a wide enough setup to be doing full range of motion in their cable crossovers. However, they still wanted to know how they could target their inner portion of the chest. What I would do in that case is you can actually warm up with some one-arm flies, but that's not going to build much tissue because you don't have a lot of counterbalance against the force. However, if you want to, let me turn the camera a little bit here. You can actually set that up where if I pick just a single cable station over here, I can stand sideways to that cable station and just do some flies like this, where it's kind of across my body. And this you'll feel this for sure. You're going to feel the inner portion of your chest working compared to the outer portion. However, you're not going to be able to get very heavy. If you had something you could grab a hold onto, that would be amazing, and then you could definitely do as heavy as you wanted. However, in this setup, I wouldn't have anything stable. I could hold a PVC pipe or a barbell or something, but that's still, again, not going to give me a very supported position. So you can warm up like this, but you're never going to be able to get super heavy. So you can warm up like that because you're going to need probably some type of warm up anyhow. What I would then do is I would actually just do the inner portion. Let me move this back over here. I would actually just do the inner portion, the inner range of motion of the cable crossovers. So even if your cable crossovers are only 4 foot wide, you can set it up to where you can stand between them. I would actually face inward. So that way your hands were as close to in between the rack as possible. And you can actually just do little portions like this, where you keep your arms nice and long and just get this nice little squeeze on the inner portion of the chest. So you can do sets of 10 to 20 reps where you just pump together, like pump up the muscle in this position, this short range of motion. And then I would pair that with, so do a superset with dumbbell presses where I'm doing a nice chest focused range of motion. So I start wide and I come inward at the top, and then I would finish that with pinch presses. So let me set that up so I can show you that. Okay, so we have this set up now where I can do some dumbbell chest presses and then finish with pinch presses. So what I would look to do with this is this would be immediately after pumping my chest with the short range of motion cable flies, whatever you want to call them. I would kick this back, and when I'm doing my presses, I want to make sure that I stay wide at the bottom, and then I'm pressing up, but I'm keeping my hands outside of my shoulders. So I don't want to let my hands come inside the vertical line of my shoulder joint, because that would let go of chest stretch tension. So I want to go wide and come in just a little bit so I can get a good emphasis on my chest, kind of like making a converging press, but with dumbbells. I would take that to good form failure, and then I can actually rotate, pinch the dumbbells together, and do a pinch press like this. So I'm actually pushing the dumbbells together as I'm doing the press. Now, what that'll do is you did the short range of motion cable work. That's going to pump up the chest. Then you come over here, you do the full range nice and wide presses. That's going to pull open that pump. Then you turn the dumbbells, push them together, and pinch press. That's going to be a lot of triceps, but you'll also notice the inner portion of your chest gets pumped as well. If you go too heavy on the pinch presses, you will feel mostly triceps. So you want to go a little bit lighter so that way you can focus more on pushing the dumbbells together than just trying to get them up. But if you do that sequence where short range of motion, chest pump, 10 to 20 reps, then I would do a chest press, and probably somewhere between maybe 6 to 12 reps in the press, pinch the dumbbells together, and then do again about 6 to 12 reps in that pinch press. That combination is going to help you target the inner portion of the chest, even if you don't have a wide cable crossover setup. So hopefully that helps. If anybody has any questions about any topics, whether it's in the video or just a different topic, let me know in the comment section, and I'll be happy to make a video for you in the future. That's it. Hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for watching.